Good morning. Okay, oh gosh. Oh, a little sore. Good morning. Any requests today? Hips and lower back? You got it. Happy Libra season. We have a solar eclipse this week. We're not going to be able to see it from here, but it is happening on Wednesday. Solar eclipse in Libra. Do we have any Libras in here? Happy birthday, Libras. No Libras. A couple of announcements. There's tons, but I'm just going to do a couple. There's a kids yoga fun night with Sarah DeSimone on Saturday, October 5th from 5:30 to 8. That includes yoga, pizza, and a movie. There's Durga Stories, lessons for Navaratri with Anisha on Sunday, October 6th from 5:30 to 7. These are like a little bit out of order, I'm just noticing. Family yoga with Sarah DeSimone, yoga for your whole family, Sunday, October 6th from 11:30 to 12:30. And on Sunday, October 6th in the afternoon, is that next Sunday? Holy moly. Wim Hof method and ice baths for yoga practitioners with Alex and Annie from 1 to 5. So that's Sunday. And the Wim Hof method is breath work, which translates really, like yoga practitioners can get really into and resonate with the Wim Hof breath work method. It's great for like stress resilience training. And then I guess like in theory, it helps with the ice plunge. I always say I'm not gonna do the ice plunge and I'm interested in the breath work, and then somehow I end up in the ice plunge. So there's no pressure to do the ice plunge. We will have one set up. And it, it could be like a game time decision. It'll be a cool workshop with Alex and Annie. And then by, request, demand, I'm bringing back the intermediate advanced. It'll be a 4-week series on Monday nights from 6:30 to 8:30. So it'll be a 2-hour practice in the downstairs studio. And intermediate advanced is not exclusive. It doesn't mean you have to be able to do handstand in the middle of the room or even Urdhva Dhanurasana. It just means you have an open mind and an open heart, and you are good enough at knowing and doing what's appropriate for you. So as long as, there's some trust between us, you'll do things that are appropriate for you and leave out the stuff that's not. And it's casual, and you bring an open mind and open heart, you're more than welcome. It's fun, it's casual, and you might see things and maybe even do things that we don't ordinarily get to in our regular classes. There's also a Get Upside Down Arm Balances and Inversions workshop with Larry on October 11th. That's a Friday night at 6:30. A Harmonious Healing Sound Bath with Elizabeth on Sunday, October 13th at 6:45. Did the last one sell out? Yeah, so pre-register for that one. If you're thinking about doing it, it's a good idea to pre-register. It's very popular and it's very awesome. Again, that's Sunday the 13th, and there's also a pranayama practice group that's virtual, an 8-week series with Adriana online, starting more towards the end of the month. Anyone here have any announcements? 7:45 a.m. And there's recordings.
A friend of mine is doing a BIPOC women's retreat in 2 weeks, so it's like the 11th, I think, to the 13th or 14th. If you look downstairs on the community board, there's an announcement about it, for healing, for mourning, for celebration, and if you don't identify as a BIPOC woman or femme, you can donate to support somebody else to go.
And tell your BIPOC friends.
Yeah, I would tell your BIPOC friends. And if you're not like femme identifying, it's also like for non-binary folks too.
awesome.
It's in like Lehigh Valley area. There's information downstairs on the board.
And that reminds me, Eric has a an autumn reset retreat coming up in November at the place that we go to up in the Allegheny Mountains. Looks awesome. So if you're looking for some fall foliage and just like an exhale because the world, I highly recommend that. And then Alex and I are going to Greece. We're bringing a yoga retreat to Greece this summer, July 20th to the 26th. And there's an early bird special until November 1st if you want to register for that. You don't have to like pay in full by November 1st. If you're interested, you just pre-register and you secure the early bird. So many things.
And also, new classes start this week. My class starts Wednesday at 8 a.m. If anyone's interested, we have new morning and evening times, so fun.
So many new classes. Yeah, members, check them out, tell your friends. And yeah, I hope you like them. We added a lot of classes. Okay, so it's Libra season. Libra is the scales, and it has me thinking a lot about justice and equality and equity and how these are values, these are virtues that are aspirational, that we aspire to as a culture. And kind of, how do I want to say this? It brings me back to our yoga practice, the lineage of our yoga practice, and the way that it is distinctive from other lineages. So many of the practices, the lineages of the yoga tradition are achievement models. They're about attainments and achievements, attaining liberation, achieving enlightenment. And in our lineage, it is an aspirational model. So we aspire to virtuosity. And we ask ourselves, like, what do these values and virtues mean to us? And how can we bring them to the world in a world that is not offering them to us, just to be very clear. Like, things are very imbalanced. There's clearly a lot of inequality in the world. And so it's like up to us as yoga practitioners to explore these values, to explore the virtues within the gift of embodiment, and then to show up in the world in a way that aspires towards bringing these aspects to life. So we're going to play with them in our bodies today. Feel where there's imbalance in the body. Feel where there's unequal distribution of weight or awareness in the body, and see if we can use our practice to not to attain perfection, but to engage in the more equal distribution of light, of awareness, of weighty distribution in the body, and see how that translates in our lives. It's dynamic. And here we go. Let's lay down. Lay down. I don't care which direction you're facing for today. A lot of times we turn around, but you can face either direction. I'd love for you to have your strap nearby. And we'll just begin by allowing the eyes to soften and close. Uh-oh, did we lose the folks? Oh, no, they're there. The eyes can soften. The eyes can be softly closed or softly open. And look for the breath. And without alter the breath in any way, bring the currents of your breath, the length, the duration of the inhale by counting the inhale. Pause at the top. And the length, the duration of the exhale, the natural exhale, counting your exhale. 3 or 4 more times at your own pace. No need to change or alter any aspect of the breath as it breathes you. Remember that the breath is the lead dancer. We often think of ourselves as a body with a breath, but really we are a breath with a body. Let the breath breathe you. And over the next few rounds of breath, begin to discern, to notice again, without any judgment whatsoever, is one side of the breath longer than the other? Is it sometimes the exhale that's longer, sometimes the inhale that's longer? Is it consistently the inhale or the exhale? Just taking these moments to receive yourself in a more subtle way, to notice yourself, to accept yourself. At times, it's valuable for the exhale to be longer than the inhale, particularly when we need to down-regulate the nervous system to come to rest, digest, and fall asleep. Sometimes it's beneficial for the inhales to be longer than the exhales when we need to be alert. And for now, let's experiment with meeting ourselves in the middle and participating in the currents of the breath in ways that bring more equality, more balance to the inhale and exhale. You can come in. Good morning. So you can inhale for 4 and exhale for 4. If you want to stretch it out, you might move towards 5, count on the inhale and exhale at your own pace. And 3 times, doesn't have to be 3 consecutive breaths, but find at least 3 of the deepest, fullest breaths that are more or less equal in length and duration. Breathing through the nose. Ujjayi breath if you know it and love it. Otherwise, just naturally breathing in and out through the nose. Allergies and sinuses permitting. Staying with the breath as best you can in this way. Bend your legs and feel the feet on the ground. Cross your right ankle over your left thigh and bend the left knee in towards the chest and thread your right arm between your legs. You can bring a strap in your right hand and thread it between the legs if you like for more length in the arms, and interlace your hands or the strap around the back of your left thigh. Flex both feet, spread the toes, notice what you feel what you notice. And here, a nice balanced cycle of breath in and out through the nose. As you inhale, hug the knee in a little closer. As you exhale, press your right knee away from you. And notice it. I notice as I look around the room that it's subtle, but there's a tendency to sort of tip towards the right here. We're sort of like if our pelvis was a set of scales, we'd be tipping a little bit to the right. Can you tilt the hips a little to the left and even widen your left knee a little to the left? Can you feel the difference? Yeah, no, maybe? Gently release. Uncross the legs. We'll take the left ankle over the right thigh. Find your breath. Inhale for 4 or 5, and with the exhale, slowly draw the right knee in. Thread the left hand or the left hand with a strap in between your legs and take the strap or interlace the hands behind the right thigh. And just start by noticing what you feel and feeling what you notice. And then breathing more equally in and out of that awareness. as though you turn the light of awareness to the currents of the breath, and the currents of the breath carry this light into the opening, into the sensation. And then notice if you're tilting a little to the left here. You might not even notice it, but like the tendency is that you're tilting a little to the left, and ever so slightly tilt to the right. Take the right knee a little wider to the right and press the left knee away from you. It's so subtle. And on the exhale, release. Good morning. Stretch your legs out long. Reach your arms overhead. Inhale deeply and fully through the nose. Exhale audibly through parted lips with a sigh. On your next exhale, hug your knees in towards your chest. Wrap your arms around your legs. Give yourself a squeeze. Now thread the arms in between your legs and hold the outer shins or ankles for happy baby. Pull the outer edges of your feet towards the earth and press the inner edges of your feet towards the sky, as though you could balance blocks on the tops of your feet. Hold the outer edges, like, is it okay to touch? Like that, yep. And then you can gently tilt from side to side here. Press your right knee towards the earth, tilt to the right. Press your left knee to the earth, tilt to the left. And go slowly from side to side. Really try to press the knee towards the earth as you press the inner edge of that same foot towards the sky. And as you tilt from side to side, can you make it more and more subtle so that you're still sort of tipping from side to side, but in a way that can't be seen, but can be felt? And as you get into that subtle place, can you hug your shoulder blades energetically towards each other and send your pubic bone away from your navel towards the earth? And press the center back of the skull down. One more breath. And exhale, release the legs, feet to the floor. Stretch your legs out long, reach the arms overhead. Huge breath in through the nose. Exhale with an audible sigh. And then gently bend the legs, roll to one side, press through strong arms to bring yourself up into a tabletop position. Find your breath, and as you exhale for the count of 4 at your own pace, round your back. As you inhale at the same pace, arch your back. 3 more times in cat-cow. You could spend a whole cycle of breath on either or both sides of that stretch. Dialing your awareness deeper now into the fabric of your body, noticing, again, what you feel, how it feels where you feel it. Cycle, we'll meet in child's pose. Big toes touch, knees wide apart. Send your hips towards your heels. Breathe into the sides and back of your waist. And as you exhale, feel the center soften and contract. Inhale into the back and sides of the waist. As you exhale, let the upper back, neck, and jaw soften. And take a moment here as you bow to yourself, as you bow to the earth, to ask yourself if there's anything in particular that you need or want from this practice of yoga today, in body, mind, and or spirit. Is there anything you're here to cultivate? Is there anything you're here to strengthen? Is there anything you're here to release or see transformed in and by the fire of your ritual practice of yoga? And allow yourself to become more sensitive and more receptive to whatever it is your practice has to offer to you today. In other words, like open yourself up to the practice, the teachings of yoga, what they churn up in you. On your inhale, come through table. As you exhale, we'll meet in downward facing dog. Pedal your feet from side to side. Stretch through the soles of the feet and the backs of the legs. Keep checking in to notice what you feel, how it feels where you feel it, and then return to the breath and consciously invite a deeper, fuller, more balanced breath. Again, we're not looking to achieve perfect balance. We're aspiring to bring more awareness to the breath and participate in balancing the energy in with the energy out. On your inhale, float the right leg to the sky. As you exhale, catch your lunge. On the inhale, reach the arms up to the sky. Lift the back heel, knee, and thigh high to the sky. Feel the back leg get straighter, stronger, more lifted. And as you reach up through the thumbs, let the top of the front thigh descend. Squeeze the front heel in as you guide the inner knee open. Big breath in. As you exhale, spring off your back foot, cross your left ankle over your right thigh, and sit deep into chair pose. Pigeon chair. Just like we did on our backs, very different here. You can reach the arms forward to send your hips back in a counterbalance. If you feel wobbly, you can bring your blocks on your highest height out in front of you for more stability. Hold on to those blocks in front of you. Flex the feet, spread the toes, and then just like the weight was sort of tipping on our back, same here. Can you actually lift your left knee up a little bit? Widen your right knee more to the right, and now sit a little deeper. Nice inhale, stand tall, thread the left leg all the way back to crescent lunge. Beautiful, feel both feet on the ground. And as you exhale, plant your hands, downward facing dog. Find, feel, and enjoy the stability that this pose offers you. Claw the fingertips, spread the toes. On your inhale, float the left leg to the sky. As you exhale, catch your lunge. Inhale, reach the arms up. Find your breath. Feel both feet on the ground. And then press, as you press through the ball of the back foot, press your back knee high to the sky. Feel the back thigh lift up more. And as the back knee and thigh lift up, let the top of the front thigh descend. Squeeze the front heel in, guide the front knee open. Keep that as you exhale, push off your back foot and cross ankle over thigh and sit deep into chair pose. Oh God, I did kettlebells for the first time, you guys. I'm so fucked. I'm enjoying you on this one. And you can reach forward, hinge forward to counterbalance your hips back. If you feel wobbly, you bring your fingertips to blocks in front of you. And now can you lift your right knee a little bit higher, guide your left knee a little bit more open, sit a little bit deeper. Nice. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, thread the leg all the way back to crescent lunge. Huge breath in. On the exhale, plant your hands, downward facing dog. Pedal it out. Inhale to the top of a plank. Let the breath carry you. Press the knees and thighs up to the sky. Draw the bottom ribs to the sky. And as you exhale, slowly bend your elbows. Bring yourself down to earth. And let the inhale take the heart forward and up. Press the hands and back. As you press the hands down and The feet down and in. One more breath here. Exhale for downward facing dog. On your inhale, float the right leg high to the sky. Exhale, step it through to lunge. Spin the back heel to the ground. And inhale for warrior two. See that your right knee and toes point straight ahead. And that your arms are in line with the shoulders, the base of the neck, each other. You might even peek at the left arm. It tends to do wonky things. Bring the left arm a little bit forward and now slide the left shoulder blade towards the spine. Gaze over the right fingertip, slide the right shoulder blade towards the spine. Feel them come together. And as you inhale, pull the feet towards each other, feel the legs engage. Lift the armpits higher, and as you exhale, without moving your hands, imagine they're on counters or boxes that you're pushing towards the earth. Feel yourself get a little taller, bend a little deeper. Straight, try not to lock the knee. Exhale. Floor or a block. Let's bring the left hand to the left hip here. If you want that, we're going to need it in a sec. You got it. If you take your back foot back, it'll bring the block closer to you. Push through the legs to extend through the spine. Now bend the front leg, walk the block way out in front of you and over to the right. Heel toe the back foot in. See that the right knee and toes point straight ahead. Left hand on the hip. Good, and now you're gonna flex the back foot, lift the back foot just an inch, like hover, just a hover. Flex the back foot, and now push your front leg straight to lift your back leg up hip height. Take your left toes forward, turn your left toes in more, good. And now anchor your tailbone down, squeeze the front heel in, and guide the front knee open towards the little toe. One more breath. Okay, left fingertips come to the block in front of you. So grab your other block maybe, yep. It's good to have the blocks like framing the front of your mat. Turn your back toes in, square your hips. See if that stand, get the standing knee and toes to straight ahead. In fact, micro bend your standing leg and get your standing knee and toes to point straight ahead. Bring this heel like right here, yeah. And then guide the inner knee open, and as you push into the blocks and you lift the inner back thigh 2 more inches. Yes. Exhale, step it all the way back to lunge. Big breath in, reach the arms up. And on your exhale, plant the hands, step it back to 3-legged dog. Right leg high to the sky. Keep the left armpit lifting. Claw the fingertips as you open the hips. Bend your top leg and try to foot high five the person to your left. Nice. Squeeze the left heel in as you push through the right heel. That's how you create balance there. Inhale the leg long behind you. Exhale, right foot meets the left foot. Take a breath. Find a more even breath in and out. And keep this like a little bit more towards plank today, just so you're not like overdoing. Does that feel okay? Yeah. Okay. On the inhale, float the left leg to the sky. Exhale, catch your lunge. Back heel to the ground. Inhale for warrior two. Find and follow your breath. Walk your back foot back a little bit. Pull the feet towards each other to restabilize yourself, to rebalance. And the tendency in the standing poses is for the weight to go like way more into the front leg than the back leg. You got to redistribute the weight so it's more even in the back leg. If you reach back through the right arm, you'll feel the torso come more into the center. Now root into your back leg and bend your front leg deeper. Squeeze the left heel in. Guide the left knee open towards the little toe. Little bit more open here. Yes, push the front leg straight, big breath in. And on your exhale, find triangle pose. Whew. Find a block. And if the block feels far away, just walk your back foot back. Pro tip, it brings the floor closer. It'll make you more stable. Well, that's not exactly true. Taking a wider stance can feel destabilizing at first. Gravity in ways that are more stabilizing and supportive. Effective. Bring your top hand to the hip. Bend your front leg, heel toe your back foot in, reach the block way out in front of your left foot over to the left. And then like you're moving in slow motion, flex the back foot off the floor just an inch. And now push your standing leg straight to lift the back foot up. Good. The back heel is just wall if you're in the room, towards the front plane of your body at home. And as you bring the right foot forward, squeeze the left heel in. Squeeze the left butt cheek. Anchor the tailbone, the sitting bone, down to the left heel as you squeeze it in. If you feel steady, you can open the right arm to the sky. And as you anchor the tailbone down, you can lift the inner right thigh up. On your exhale, right hand to the block. Square your hips. Get the as necessary. Micro bend the left leg. It shouldn't be locked. Good. And now as you push the blocks down and forward, even try this. Walk your blocks forward a little bit. Now try to push your blocks down and across the room. And can that help you to lift the back leg 1 more inch? It's called seesaw principle. You gotta hunker down through the arms to lift the back leg higher because the leg is heavier. Nice. Exhale, big step back to lunge. Inhale, root down through the legs, land, then reach and rise up. Let the breath carry you, beautiful. On your exhale, plant the hands, take it back to downward dog, follow your breath. Inhale for plank, claw the fingertips. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale for cobra. Claw the fingertips, flick the toenails down. Exhale for dog. And on your inhale, float your left leg to the sky. Open the hips, bend your top leg. Send a foot high five to the right, but keep that right armpit lifting and the right heel hugging in. It's like you want to go right up to your tipping point where it feels like you might tip over, but you lift the right armpit up and you squeeze the right heel in, and it's like pumping the brakes. Inhale the leg long. Exhale, float it down. Right leg through to pigeon prep. Bring your forearms to the floor in front of you. And so similar here, just like in our pigeon on our back and our pigeon standing on 1 foot, the weight tends to tip to the right here. If you tuck your back toes under, you're going to get more activation through the back leg. So I recommend tucking the back toes under and then bringing your back knee a little bit closer to the midline and feel where the weight is on the back knee, more to the inner edge or the outer edge. When the weight tips to the right, which is often the case, the weight tends to fall more to the inner edge of the back knee. See if you can bring more weight to the outer edge of the back knee. And then as you press the back knee down and forward, can you pull your front knee back and feel the hips lift so that you can square the hips more, so that you're not tilting to one side or the other. The hips are lifted, light, and square through the action and engagement of your legs. This looks great. Now bring your hands to the blocks and walk the blocks on their highest height back in line with the hips. Try not to tilt back to the right side. Keep the right side lifting up. Awesome. And as you press the back knee down and forward, you can bend the back leg and with your left hand find your left foot. Pause right here just because you requested this. Walk your back shin in until you feel me. Yep, all the way, all the way, all the way. And can you feel how you're kind of sitting here? Yeah. Okay, so pull your knees toward. Is it okay to touch? Yes. There it is. Different story, right? This is so key for the low back. If you can, so bend the back leg, left hand holds the left foot, try not to tilt to the right. If you feel steady, this is a huge if, you can reach the right arm to the sky. If you reach the right arm up and you feel yourself tilt to the right, stay with the support of the block there. Pull the knees towards each other. It's almost like you're twisting your hips from left to right. Draw the right shoulder up and back, one more breath. And on the exhale, gently release. Downward facing dog. And pedal it out. You can rest in dog or child's pose or let the breath carry you through a linking vinyasa. See how subtle it is? It's so deep. And I also just want to be clear that when it comes to practicing this kind of redistribution of weight in the body to bring more symmetry or balance. I can lower the knees down and sit back on the heels for just a sec. It's a practice, it's an experiment, it's an exploration. It's to kind of see the ways in which we sort of lean, or the way we lean, the way we tip that may be overlooked, to get insight, to get information, not to try to hold a steady, perfectly symmetrical place. Does that make sense? Our Lord of Yoga is Shiva. He's twisted, he's turning, he's moving, he's balancing he's crooked and twisted as he balances. Does that make sense? Because that's life. Life isn't going to give you perfect stability or steadiness. Spoiler alert for the young folks in the house today. There's other yogas where you get gods that are more Dharma gods that are very symmetrical. Those are kind of the yogas that are trying to get to heaven. We're trying to be good at being in the world, and that's going to require the constant taking of the twists and turns. How do we take the twists and turns of life? So there's I want it to feel like you can tip yourself towards center and feel an expansion of the center, not a rigidity of the center. Does that make sense? Downward facing dog. We'll meet back there. Notice any newfound space and how the newfound space lends itself to an increased, enhanced capacity for breath. Notice the next time you try for that even breath in and out, is it getting deeper and longer? Is the 4 count slowing down, or is it even stretching to a 5, 6, 7, or 8 count, maybe? Because that's the point. The point of our physical practice of yoga is to enhance our capacity for breath, to enhance our capacity for energy, which in turn is to enhance our capacity for life. Our capacity for the inner world. It's a lot, am I right? That inner world, it's a lot. And the outer world, so much. The outer world it's too much. So we need yoga to accommodate. Inhale, floats the left leg to the sky. Did we do this side? No. Exhale through to pigeon prep. Bring your forearms to the floor in front of you. Find some breath. Tuck the back toes under and scoot that back knee so that it's in line with the hip. That probably means scooting your back knee more to the midline. And then notice, is the weight tipping to the left and rolling to the inner edge of the back knee. To the inner edge of the back knee. To counter that, we want to get more weight on the outer edge of the back knee. Pull the knees towards each other and lift the left hip up. As we wrap the right hip forward, we can pull the left hip crease back. And so we're lifting, centering, and squaring the hips. And then to the extent that you can keep that, you can scoot the back knee back rather than just sitting on the left hip. And that'll feel like the stretch with integrity through engagement. You keep the hips lifted and square, and then you inch that back knee back. And then hug it back in. And bring the blocks up high, framing your hips. Try not to tilt to the left in that transition. And then bending your back leg with your right hand, you can find your right foot. When you turn to the right, there's a little lean to the left. So once you bind yourself to yourself, press the back knee down, pull the back knee forward, and draw the left hip up, the left shoulder up and back. Can stay right here with the left block supporting you. If you feel steady, you can reach the left arm to the sky. Back, everyone, like you're pulling the left hip away from the front of the room. One more breath. Nice. On the exhale, release. Downward facing dog. Inhale to plank. Claw your fingertips. Take your feet wider, as wide as the mat. Lift your knees and thighs higher. Keep that, in case you might just stay here. Reach the right arm overhead, bicep by the ear. Claw the left fingertips and twist your hips a little to the left. Nice, Emma. Yes, right hand down, left arm overhead. Twist your hips a little from right to left or left to right, like left hip towards the floor. Left hip towards the floor and left hand down. Downward facing dog. Hallelujah. On the inhale, float the right leg to the sky. Exhale, catch your lunge. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, take a big step forward to balance on your right foot. Cross ankle over thigh and sit deep into pigeon chair. This is like my go-to for the lower back stuff, hips and lower back. Lift the left knee up a little bit, widen the right knee more to the right, sit deeper. Inhale, rise up. This time with your left hand, find your left foot behind you. Draw the left shoulder up and back. Put a little softness in your standing knee and hinge halfway forward. Squeeze the left knee to the midline as you reach the heart forward, and then kick your foot into your hand. Extend the left leg long, reach the right arm overhead, pause for a breath, and as you exhale, reach back through your left leg, down through your left foot. Big breath in. Exhale, plant your hands, downward facing dog. On your inhale, float your right leg to the sky. Exhale, catch your lunge. Inhale, reach the arms up. Right knee into, is that the same side? Plant the hands, downward facing dog, sorry. Rinse cycle, find a breath. In, the breath ignites the heart. The indwelling light of the heart illuminates the mind and the body here in the gift of embodiment. Inhale, float the left leg to the sky. Exhale, catch your lunge. Inhale, reach the arms up. Left knee and toes point straight ahead as you exhale, big step forward. Cross ankle over thigh and take it deep into pigeon chair. Flex the right foot. Lift the right knee up a little bit. Take the left knee wider, sit deeper. Breathe. Inhale to rise up. Right hand finds the right foot behind you. Hug the right knee to the midline. Draw the right shoulder up and back. Softness in the standing knee as you hinge halfway forward. Hug the back knee in as you hinge forward. Then kick the foot back into the hand. Hug the knee to the midline as you kick the foot into the hand. And then slow motion, leg long, right arm extends overhead. Slow motion, bend your standing leg until the back foot touches the ground. And on the inhale, reach up, stretch up. Exhale, plant the hands. Downward facing dog. Find your breath. Inhale to plank. Exhale to lower down. Let the breath carry you. Inhale for cobra. Cobra dog, up dog if you feel ready. And the exhale carries you to downward dog. Breath to heart. Heart to mind. Mind to body. On the inhale, float the right leg to the sky. Exhale, catch your lunge. Spin the back heel to the ground and inhale for warrior two. Front knee and toes point straight ahead. As you inhale, reach the arms up alongside the ears. Bend your right elbow like you're going to pat yourself on the back. And with your left hand, draw your right elbow towards the back of the room. Press your head back into your arm. Press your right elbow towards the back of the room. And press your elbow up into your hand. Can you feel that? As you press the elbow up into the hand and the hand down into the elbow, head back, bend the front leg deeper, squeeze the front heel in, guide the front knee open. Sally, switch arms. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, right forearm to right thigh, left arm overhead. Use your left elbow to guide the left knee open. Can you take the left shoulder back and the right shoulder to the left shoulder blade? On the exhale, pass through your lunge, downward facing dog. Breath to heart, heart to mind, mind to body. Here in the gift of embodiment from the heart as you push through the arms, lift through the hips and ground through the heels. On your next inhale, float the left leg to the sky. Exhale, catch your lunge. Back heel to the ground. Inhale for warrior two. Just find your stance, stand your ground. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, bend the left elbow like you're going to pat yourself on the back. Press your head back into your arm. Right hand reaches for the left elbow, and you're drawing the left elbow up and back. Press your head back. And as you're drawing the left elbow up and back with the right hand, press the elbow into the right hand, bend the front leg deeper, squeeze the front heel in, guide the front knee open, rest the head back. One more breath. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, left forearm to left thigh, right arm overhead. Use your left elbow to guide the left knee open. Take the left shoulder wants to pop forward, take the left shoulder back, the right shoulder blade to the left shoulder blade. Push through the legs to extend through the spine and the left fingertips. Beautiful. Exhale, pass through lunge, downward facing dog. Thighs, point the right foot and lift the right foot hip height. Come on to the left fingertips. Squeeze the right leg to the midline. Oh, good. Plant the left hand, plant the right foot. Point the left foot, lift the left heel hip height. You can stay right here as you squeeze the left leg to the midline. Maybe come on to right fingertips. Twist your hips to the left. Yes. And plant the right hand, the left foot, downward dog. Inhale to float the right leg high to the sky. Exhale, catch your lunge. Inhale, reach your arms up. Right knee and toes point straight ahead. Find your breath. Big step forward and up to balance on your right leg, cross ankle over thigh. Sit deep into pigeon chair. Reach forward. Now as you bend your standing leg deep, let's take a deeper cross. And can you bend your standing leg so much that you can push, actively push and root the ball of your left foot into the ground? And now try to pull the legs apart. Good. Cross your left arm under your right arm, bend the elbows and bring the backs of the hands together. Can go for palms if that feels accessible. Lift the elbows up and sit the hips deeper. Now elbows tap the bottom knee. Inhale, rise up, unfurl, thread it all the way back to lunge. Big breath in, go birds. It's called Garudasana. Exhale, plant the hands. Downward facing dog. Breath to heart, heart to mind, mind to body. That should kick on. Was that a tease? On the inhale, float the left leg high to the sky. Exhale, catch your lunge. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, huge step forward to balance on the left leg, cross ankle over thigh, and sit deep into chair pose. Hinge forward to take the hips back, bend the standing leg as much as you can, and now cross the legs deeper, so much that you could push the ball of your right foot into the ground. So it's not so much that the standing weight is just on the standing leg. I want as much weight in the top leg. Try to pull your legs apart, stand through the ball of your top foot so much the bottom leg can get a little lighter, and pull the legs apart. Cross right arm under left arm, backs of the hands together. Lift the elbows up, sit deeper. Palms together if that feels accessible. Maybe elbows tap the bottom knee. Inhale to rise up, unfurl, whoo. Thread it all the way back to lunge. Big breath in. Exhale, plant the hands. Downward facing dog. I don't know why that didn't kick on. Inhale to plank. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale for cobra. Cobra dog or up. Your breath here. Go for balance in that breath. And the exhale can carry you to downward dog. On your inhale, float the right leg high to the sky. Open the hips. Bend the top leg like you're gonna foot high five. Not the person immediately to your left, but like 2 or 3 people over. This time, we're gonna lean into it a little bit. You can take your left heel to the left. Keep your left armpit lifting and take your left heel way over to the left. Like lift your left heel up and place it to the left so that your left toes point to the right. Come onto your right fingertips. Foot high five 4 people to the left. Let the right fingertips hover. Bicep by the ear, right fingertips off the floor. Exhale, downward dog. Confusing? Okay. Some of you got that just because you've been with me for something like forever. If we haven't been together forever, let me show. Try. Yeah, it's half flipping. Exactly. So what tends to happen here is this happens. So I keep this left arm lifting, and this time I'm gonna let the foot turn. Does that make sense now? Fingertips lift, and if you feel steady, maybe you can hover. You just find the edge, your tipping point. Worst case scenario, you tip over. That's fine, but you try not to. Does that make sense?
Do you want the whole bottom foot down, or do you want
That's just about flexibility in the ankle. If you have enough flexibility in the ankle to have the whole bottom foot on the floor, you'll get a little more foundation, which is going to provide a little more. You get like a little more stability. Some people, like I'll just show, have less ankle flexibility, so I'm just on the blade edge of the foot. It's just a little harder. More of a metaphor for the 21st century, or just the age that we live in. So you don't have to get the whole sole of the foot on the ground, but if you can, you will likely feel more stable because you'll have more foundation, okay? So it's like we're really trying to go right up to the edge, right up to the boundary, and get right up next to your tipping point. How close can you get to your tipping point without tipping over? Worst case scenario, you tip over, stick the landing. It's a beautiful, heart-opening back bend, gorgeous, yummy pose. So not the end of the world in this case. In this case, downward dog. No, in most cases. Find your breath. Press through the inner edges of the hands and the inner edges of the fingertips. So even like that, it's so subtle, but the distribution of weight in the hands is very uneven. We tend to drop the weight into the outer heel of the hand, and then we pay the price because the wrists start to hurt. To get out of that wrist pain, you gotta redistribute the weight into the inner edges of the hands, which tend to uproot, the inner edges of the fingertips, which tend to uproot. And the inhale, float the left leg to the sky. Open the hips, bend the top leg. Keep the right armpit lifting. Try to foot high five the person next to the person on your right. Lift the bottom heel and take your bottom heel to the right. Turn your bottom toes to the left. Come onto left fingertips. If you feel steady, reach the left arm overhead and just try to breathe and hover right inside your tipping point. Awesome. Breathe. Add an on your edge. And on your exhale, downward facing dog. Bring the weight to the inner edges of the hands, the inner edges of the fingertips, so much that you feel the outer heels of the hands lighten up. Float the right leg to the sky. Open the hips. Bend the top leg, pivot to the outer edge of your bottom foot. Keep the left armpit lifting as you come onto the right fingertips. Maybe the right fingertips on the floor. And you hover right inside your tipping point. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale to float the left leg to the sky. Press through the inner edges of the hands, outer heels of the hands light. Open the hips, bend the top leg. Pivot the bottom heel to the right. Come on to left fingertips. Maybe left fingertips hover off the floor. Lean back. Exhale, downward dog, child's pose, or full pranam. Breathe, feel, notice. The breath ignites the heart, the splendor of the heart illuminates and inspires the mind and the body. Here in the gift of embodiment, we have a physical practice of yoga that is a strategy for revealing the imbalances within in order to recalibrate the relationships between muscles and bones in our musculoskeletal system. It's an alignment-based hatha yoga that uses musculoskeletal alignment as a means to help the energy of life, the breath, flow in us, as us, through us more deeply, more fully, more freely, in turn energizing us for life. Helping us to live life more fully. And the more we bring awareness, consciousness, balance to the inner world, the more steady we feel in relationship to the outer world, which is unsteady to say the least. Okay, we're gonna bring it back to downward dog. And this time in the slowest of motion, we are gonna tip it over. We're gonna allow ourselves to tip over. We're gonna receive our tipping point with as much grace and control as we can muster, knowing full well that when we hit the tipping point, we are not in control, but we can be in a flow of grace. Downward facing dog. Find your breath. Breath to heart, heart to mind, mind to body. That is the key to our yoga practice, that focusing on the channel of energy that goes breath to heart, heart to mind, mind to body. And the more we stay in that channel, the more grace we will have, we will sustain every time we hit a tipping point. On the inhale, float the right leg high to the sky, follow the breath. Open the hips, bend the top leg. Pivot to the outer edge of your bottom foot. Keep the inner armpit lifting, on the left armpit lifted up. Come onto right fingertips and hover. Think arm overhead more than to the sky. Overhead, like bicep by the ear. And then slow motion, mindful of props, tip it over, hand to heart. You can bring your hand to your heart. You might parallel your feet once the right foot comes down. And with the feet parallel, push through your legs to press your heart into your hand and press your hand into your heart. Leave a heart print on your hand and a hand print on your heart. And on your exhale, you can lower your hips a little bit, extend your left leg long, step your right foot in front, bring it back to downward facing dog. Re-wrap yourself around yourself. Good news, last side. On your inhale, float the left leg to the sky. Open the hips, bend the top leg, pivot to the outer edge of your bottom foot. Come on to left fingertips, lift the bottom armpit up. Think left arm overhead more than to the sky. That's gonna help you counterbalance. And as slow motion as you go, tip, 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 until you feel yourself meet the earth. Then you can parallel the feet and push through the legs, hand to heart. As you push through your legs, you press your heart into your hand and your hand into your heart. Maybe one balanced breath here. And on an exhale, you sort of drop the hips, extend the inside leg, step your back leg over the inside leg. Wrap yourself around yourself for downward dog. And rest on your belly or child's pose. Breathe into the backs and sides of your waist. Inhale for 4 or 5. Exhale for 4 or 5. Let the inhale pour over into exhale. And the exhale pour over into inhale. Come on to the back. Knees bent, feet on the floor. Bend the elbows alongside the waist. Press the elbows down so much you can lift the chest up. And as you lift up through the chest, wriggle the shoulder blades together so that the shoulder blades come right in together, touching the spine, creating like a little cradle, a little nest right underneath your heart center. Press the center back of your skull down and walk your feet in so that they feel like they're right underneath your knees, hips width apart and parallel. As you press the center back of the skull down and the elbows down, stand through the feet to lift your hips up. Bridge pose. Turn your toes in. Press your elbows down. Big breath in, feel the belly expand. As you exhale, press your feet down and forward. Can you feel the bridge grow from inside out? Maybe wriggle the shoulders in a little deeper. On your exhale, slowly lower. Find your block. Place a block between your palms on its widest degree. So it's widest. You should really feel like you can press the inner edges of your hands into the block. So you're holding it more with the inner edges of your hands. Reach the arms straight up to the sky. Shrug your shoulders towards your ears, and then without bending your elbows, try to retract the arm bones into the sockets. It's not gonna feel like the deepest. The hips can be on the floor here. You can lower your hips down to the ground, okay? So if your shoulders drop down and you plug the arm bones, then it's gonna feel deeper. We wanna avoid that. I wanna shrug the shoulders up more, and then keeping them up, plug the arm bones into the sockets and squeeze the block. More like that. So you can squeeze it with the fingertips too, like that, like that. Okay, now try not to let the armpits pop out. Like right now, can you feel your armpits are hollow? We want to keep that, and as you inhale, hug the block, we want to bring the biceps, the upper arms towards the ears. So you're taking the block overhead. Try to keep the armpits in, press the center back of the skull down, lift the chin a little bit, and drop the ribs down, and press the head back, and lift the chin, and squeeze the block, and come back up to center. Squeeze the block as you come up to center. Shrug the shoulders, suck the arm bones into the sockets, big breath in, squeeze the block. As you exhale, take the block overhead. Right at your max, inhale, squeeze the block. And exhale, bring it back to center. If you want more, you could stretch your legs out long, press your heels down, flex the feet, press the heels down, squeeze the block, inhale the block overhead, pause right there, squeeze the block, lift the chin, lower the ribs, lift the chin, squeeze the block, inhale to center. And 2 more times together on your own. Squeeze the block. Move with the breath. Try to keep the bottom ribs drawing down, the chin lifting ever so slightly up, the throat open as you drink the breath in and whisper the breath out. Good, and the next time you come through center, put the block to the side. Bend the legs, feet on the ground. Reach the arms up to the sky. Make the hands like plank, so flex your wrists so that you're almost like you're holding up the ceiling with your palms. And now bend the elbows and bring the fingertips towards the floor, as wide as the mat outside your ears. Shrug the shoulders up, armpits in. The heels of the hands are likely not down if the armpits are in. Stand through the feet to lift the hips up. It's like a goofy bridge. You can stay right here. As you inhale, hug the thighs, the knees to the midline. As you exhale, press the feet down and forward. You're going to use that momentum on the next breath. As you exhale, push the feet down and forward. Push through your arms a little to come to the top of your head. Then turn the toes in and the hands out. And as you push through the legs and push through the arms, big exhale, lift up, Urdhva Dhanurasana. Turn your toes in, turn your hands out. Huge breath in, belly expands. As you exhale, press your feet down and forward to pump your heart forward the opposite direction. And on your exhale, slowly lower down. Gorgeous, Yoshi. As you lower the hips down, take the feet as wide as the mat and let the knees rest against each other at the midline. Hands can come to rest anywhere on your midsection. Find and feel the breath in the palms of your hands. Maybe notice the rhythmic beating of your heart as it reverberates through every fiber of your being, resetting the tone for your entire inner being. It gets a vibe. Let both knees fall gently to the right. Tip all the way over to the right. The right foot can come on top of the left thigh if that feels good on you. Even the head can roll to the right if that feels good on you. Otherwise, just keep the head in neutral. The head to neutral if it's not already. Inhale the legs to neutral, uncross. Take the feet as wide as the mat. And let both knees fall gently to the left. Can tip all the way to the left. The left foot can come on top of the right thigh if that feels good on you. And the head can roll to the left if that feels good. Find a balanced breath here. One or two of the deepest, fullest breaths that are more than less even-ish. On the inhale, head to neutral, legs to center. Stretch your legs out long, reach your arms overhead, huge breath in. And exhale slowly. Bend the legs, put a block between the thighs. So those were spinal neutralizers after the back bends. We're gonna place a block between the thighs. Okay, so you can still do this, just take it easy. Take your arms out in cactus, palms up. You can even hold the corners of your mat if you like the way that feels. Bring your knees over your hips. So the arms are like cactus. Yeah, elbows on the ground, backs of the hands on the ground. If you feel any twinginess in your shoulders, just take your elbows a little lower than your armpits and your hands a little wider than your elbows. Press the center back of the skull down, flex the feet. Knees over the hips, so back your knees up a little bit and flex your feet more. Now press the left shoulder down and take your knees to the right only as much as you can keep your left shoulder on the ground. Keep your head in neutral, press the center back of the skull down, the left shoulder down. Right at your edge, squeeze the block and breathe. 2 or 3 breaths here. As you squeeze the block, can you bring the big toes closer to each other and the heels wider apart? Nice. On an inhale, come through center. On the exhale, legs to the left as much as you can keep the right shoulder down, head in neutral. Squeeze the block, flex the feet. Big toes magnetize towards each other, inner heels repel each other. Press the center back of the skull down. Inhale to center. Feet to the floor, remove the block. Cross the left thigh over the right thigh. Scooch your hips to the left and lower your knees to the right. Did I say that right?
Yes.
Okay. Left, so cross your left leg over your right leg. Hips to the left, knees to the right. What do we get? And yeah, this time let yourself like just tip all the way over. And then once the legs get heavy to the right, you can play with letting the left shoulder sort of release with every exhale. You can release the left arm down to the side or out to the side. On the inhale, come through center, uncross. Shift your hips to neutral. We'll cross the right leg over the left leg. Take a deep cross, thigh over thigh. Shift your hips to the right. Lower the legs to the left. And like as you tip and tilt all the way over to the side, just notice how good it feels to release. To release the counter effort, the counterbalance. And then just extend the right arm down to the side or out to the side. Big breath in, and with the exhales, feel the effortless effort of the right shoulder sort of releasing back towards the earth. The breath, massage the visceral organs. Inhale the legs to center, uncrossed. Stretch your legs out long, reach the arms overhead. Inhale through the nose, deep and full. Exhale through the mouth with an audible sigh. The bottom of that breath, hug the knees in towards the chest. Wrap the arms around the legs. Give yourself a squeeze, a loving embrace. Thread the arms between the legs and hold the outer ankles or edges of the feet for happy baby. As you thread the arms inside the legs, so arms between the legs, and hold the outer ankles or edges of the feet, you can gently tilt and rock from side to side like the scales tipping from left to right, massaging the back body. And as you tilt to the right, you might push the right foot into the right hand so that the right leg starts to straighten, and sort of pull back on the left leg like you're pulling on a bow. And then back through center, and as you tip to the other side, extend through that leg. It can get longer. You can hold the shin, the calf, a little higher up the leg if you want to stretch that leg all the way out long. You don't have to stay attached to the foot. Just stay bound to yourself. And as you extend one leg, you got to pull back through the opposite side like you're pulling on a bow. Back and forth from side to side, massaging the low back, the back body. And then slowly, as you kind of go back and forth, start to make it smaller, more subtle, till you're back in the middle, tilting from side to side in a way that can't be seen, but can be felt. Can I get you something? Sweatshirt. Scan your body with your awareness to see, are there any final poses, movements, or adjustments that you need or want to make in order to feel completely prepared to fully and deeply relax? You can add or remove layers. You can add or remove props. If you love to self-massage with the yoga tune-up balls, you can take these few minutes to hit your hot spots. As you spread yourself out on the altar of the earth, let the legs be heavy and the feet roll out. Let the belly soften so that you can feel the fullness of each breath deep in the belly. The belly expands fully on the inhale and completely softens with each exhale. Let the arms be soft and heavy. Just place the arms in any way that feels good, that suits you. And allow the weight of the head to be heavy in the lap of the earth. The tongue softens inside the mouth. The tip of the tongue can curl up towards the roof of the mouth. And while the lips softly closed, the teeth come apart. So the jaw is soft and the throat is soft. Let all the muscles of your face relax. The eyes soften back in the sockets. The brows soften. And look for your breath. And as best you can for the time being, let your breath hold your vision. Inhale for 5 and exhale for 5. And without any judgment, if that feels easy, You can stretch it towards 8 on the inhale and 8 on the exhale. And as you trace the breath in for the count of 8, take it all the way into your pelvic floor. Let it fill all the way up to your crown. And then twist it down into your heart. And allow the exhale to begin from the heart. The belly softens as you exhale the breath, heartfelt in all directions. At the boundary of the exhale, inhale for 8. Take it into the pelvic floor, up into the crown and down into your heart. And exhaling for 8. The belly softens and the breath emerges from the heart, from inside out in all directions, as far and as wide as you can go in 8 counts. And at the boundary, draw the breath back into the heart and let it pour out of you heartfelt for 8 counts. Bathing in breath. With a steady gaze inward, invite a slow, deep, full breath in. Let the breath ignite the heart illuminates the mind, and the mind inspires the body. And here in this gift of conscious breathing embodiment, let the breath pour out of you heartfelt, slowly far and wide. The breath ignites the heart. The heart illuminates the mind and inspires the body. And here in this gift of embodiment, the breath pours out of you, heartfelt, in all directions, filling the space that you are, the space around you, with the nature and spirit of the heart, the source of luminosity and virtuosity. Informing the inner field, the inner body, illuminating the outer field, the space around us. As you're ready, let the spirit that you are gently awaken the body that you have in the ways that naturally feel good, wiggling toes and fingers, stretching arms and legs. And as the spirit that you are awakens the body that you have, let the body that you have embrace and affirm the spirit that you are, literally wrapping yourself around yourself, for this is and you truly are the gift of life. When you feel ready, you can bend the legs, feel both feet on the ground, and just take a moment to call yourself down to earth, and back to reality. A moment to visualize the ways in which you stretch yourself in this practice of yoga into the activities of your daily life. In so doing, bringing the values and the virtues that you and your heart of hearts aspire towards more fully to those in the world around you. Imagine that. The ways in which we bring steadiness, stability, security, equality, justice, equity, the idea of safety to those in the world around us. Comes from inside. Can roll to one side when you're ready. Press through strong arms. Find your way into a comfortable seat, comfortable posture with the eyes closed and the hands folded before the heart in Anjali Mudra. Final gesture of sincere self-reverence, courageous self-offering, a gesture that recognizes the splendor of the heart, and the gesture that places this aspect of ourselves before us as both the guide and the offering in all we do. In so doing, bringing more splendor to those in the world around us. As you bow to your heart, with all my heart, I bow to every one of you. Thank you so much for your practice, for your presence, for being together. And thank you so much for all that you are and all that you do every single day of this life. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, y'all. Thanks for your practice. Thanks for being here and doing this. Monday nights, intermediate advanced, all are welcome, open mind, open heart. I did just try to help Tracy sign up, and it seems like there might be something wonky with the sign up, so message us if you're trying to do it and it looks weird. I know there's a significant discount for members, but it looks like maybe you're not, I signed Tracy up, but you landed in one slot. I emailed you. We're gonna figure it out. I'm just warning you that it might be a little wonky. Check out all the retreats. Is it how do you say her name? It's not Asana.
It's asana.
Asana's retreat is on the bulletin board downstairs. It's called Rooted. The autumnal reset with Eric is on our platforms, and Greece is live, so